really looking forward to this. I wasn't aware. I'm looking into it now, but I wasn't aware that they were actually going through with the remaster of Suikoden 1
Mm.
and 2.
Oh yeah,
Because
let
they
me
have
bring
been
that up.
talking about it for like decades, man. They've been talking about it
Yeah,
forever. They've been
we'll bring
talking
it up.
about doing a Suikoden 6 forever. That's never gonna
Oh,
fucking
dude,
happen.
I
You know,
know. We need a 6. We need the story. There's still story to tell.
I was like, let me rank them for you real quick. Suikoden 2, Suikoden 1, Suikoden 3,
No, no,
Suikoden 5, and
no. Ooh,
Suikoden 4 is in last place.
I'd put 5 ahead of 3.
I don't know. I really liked 3, and it also
I
ties a
liked
little
it.
bit more directly into 1 and 2.
Well, it finishes the 1 and 2 storyline. It
Mhm.
finishes it. But uh I there was something about 3. I think it was its battle system. I didn't like its battle system as much.
The battle
Uh
system was, I mean, that evolved throughout all of the games. I mean, it was never just a
well,
simple,
5 went back to
turn-based.
what they did in 1 and 2. They went
Yeah.
back to how what worked in 1 and 2.
Yeah, which is, I loved 5. 5 was great, but I
Oh, yeah.
liked
Even
as
for a
far
pre
as, like, story elements go, I loved 3. I did. I liked the way they told it. I liked the different perspectives. I liked the fact that a guy who'd been with you all throughout 1 and 2, spoilers, turns out to be the bad guy.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I liked a lot of things about that, but I will give you that the combat system in that was kinda janky.
And the problem is also even it now we know if you understand what's going on in 3, you're able to know what the actual canon storyline is within 3. You make sure
Mhm.
Hugo gets the flame, what's his name already had the wind, and Chick gets the water. You don't
Right.
give that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to double it up on anybody. And but some
Right, but
people
it
will
is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought it was kinda nice that they gave you the option to play around with that a little
Mhm.
bit too, though, you know?
Well, 3 is the only one I've never played over and over again, like with the other ones, except for
Mm.
4. 4 was garbage. I hated 4. I never even finished 4. I
I
never
swear to
finished
God,
it.
if I ever see another Nate Kobold, I'm gonna burn Japan to the ground.
There was that game. 4 had no soul.
No, it
4
had
had no
some
soul.
interesting ideas in it, but you're right. There's no um there was no soul to it. There was no
Yeah,
it was all flash, no substance,
yeah.
you know.
It's just you're just
Um
rolling through it. Your character had. I mean, every other character. Yes, McDowell and what I forget the set 3.2 protagonist. The guy, the other there's Joey, and I forget the other one's name.
yeah.
They all had real stories,
Right.
and they had families and everything. Three again. The story is great in 3, but 4, you're nothing in 4. Your protagonist is nothing, and you're fighting for nothing almost. I
Yeah.
just
And you're in a
and then
place and a time that's completely disconnected from everything else because it takes place
yeah,
like 100 years before the first
it's like
one
a
for no
super
reason.
prequel. It's like a super
Yeah.
prequel, and the only
And
reason
they use a technology that doesn't exist in games that take place in the future. I mean, I like the rune cannon ideas, but why in the hell weren't they using that in 1 and 2?
mhm. And and then 5 was the "We're sorry. We're gonna tell you the prequel to 1, and we're gonna get all great characters in there, and we're gonna go back to what worked, and we're gonna voice act it too," which was great. That was great.
Mhm.
Get a voice act, and but then we're gonna give you just a a real story that harkens to the true runes again,
Mhm.
and I really dug it. So let's bring this up here.
Well, that's why I think we need more of them because there are
Mm.
27 true runes and we've only seen like 11 of them.
Yeah, we haven't even seen them all, and there's so much more story to tell. And there's that other one that's the spiritual successor, but it's not Suikoden. But maybe this will regenerate some, revitalize some interest. So let's see if this will go larger.
Oh, that's so
Watch on YouTube. Let's
smexy.
go to YouTube for this. Yeah, let's go to YouTube. Here we go. Let's pause. Full screen. Oh, it killed it. God damn it. I look back and it's gone. All right, so this is the announcement trailer. There's some great screen caps from other things, but here's the announcement trailer. Let's watch this. I have to bring it up first, Adam. There you go. Okay.
By the way, for all of you Final Fantasy stands out there, suck it.
Oh, I'm not a stan. I'm just a fan. I can criticize Final Fantasy as much as praise it.
Look, I don't hate Final Fantasy. I just think Suikoden's a superior JRPG.
Oh, compared to some Final Fantasies, yes. I will debate for another moment. Let's watch this show. Let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy Suikoden. I love this stuff.
I just got so turgid right now.
Yes. See now, one of the greatest things. All the true runes, the true elemental runes. What I love, one of the things I loved about this was the evolution of your base in these games. I love Torrent Castle. I love the village in Suikoden 2.
I
And
think
how
my favorite part of the franchise, other than the base story and all that stuff, was the Suikoden, from what I understand, means something similar to side story. And which is fitting because you have 108 characters who join your cause, each of whom, if you take the time, has their own story, their own arc in the game. And it's just fantastic.
Every time in every one of the games, especially number 2 is my favorite one to do it in. Every time after major events in the game, I would go around the castle and talk to everybody. I'd go around and I'd make sure I'd update what everybody's doing, see what they're going, see if they have anything they need from me. And 2 was so it expanded on that so much. I loved 2. I can't wait to get back.
Oh yeah, dude. The I know it sounds stupid when I describe it like this, but it's a lot of fun. The whole assassin chef cook-off arc.
I was just about to talk about this.
So fucking fun, man.
I had people who would come over and I'd be playing Suikoden 2. They come hang out. They would love it when I would be playing that mini game arc. I love this because that is. God damn it. The great thing about the mini game, the chef side quest, what's his name? Hi, something or other. Your success is dependent on, first of all, if you have found good recipes during your adventure. You have to have the recipes, and then you have to understand who you're cooking for. And if you don't have the right,
random.
Yeah, it's always random. And if you don't have the right recipes to make a good food, you're not going to win. It's so good. It's so good.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
My boy Victor.
Victor the Bear. Torrent Castle. Look at that remaster, dude.
Shit, yeah.
Look at that.
Fucking poor ass Gregio.
Oh, Gregio. You know, my first time playing, I didn't get the true ending the very first time I played it because I missed some people the very first time. I didn't get all 108 till my second playthrough. Because then I learned that there was the one character you could talk to who would point you in a direction to find the people.
Fuck, man. Do you remember how much of a bitch it is to get all 108 in 2?
Like, you could screw up.
Clive, you have to dedicate the first fucking like third of your entire game to getting Clive as fast as possible.
Yeah,
because if you don't, you'll miss him, and
he's not going to be there. I remember
one
that
fucking shot at a specific time in the game.
Yep, if Clive's not going to be there, and that was what got me the first time when I played that. Do you know? You remember the battle in 2, where I forget the Kobold general's name, where you went to go to rescue him.
I think so. Yeah.
Do you know how many times it took me to win that battle and rescue him, so that he lives and his son doesn't take over for him?
Yeah.
Because I work every time I play it. I work so hard to save his ass in that fight. I want to do it. And I love this stuff. I can't. I'm streaming these. I am streaming this when I get them.
I might do it myself. This is one of my favorite game series of all time.
The replay value of these games is so high. And I'll ask you this when we're done the scene. Let's keep going. I want to ask you if you know about a couple of the life hacks for the games, for especially the first one that I know over the years. Look at that overworld map, dude. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, look at that. The water effects. Oh man, the clouds.
That's
They upgraded
glorious.
that shit.
I miss this. You know, as again, I like 3. I wish 3 hadn't gone to CGI 3D. I wish it had been 2D art style. I really do.
Do you remember putting Stallion in your party just so you didn't take like 5 hours getting from one village to another?
Yep, gotta run fast. Gotta run fast.
He's got the only rune that lets you dash on the world map.
I know. Oh man. Poor Ted. Poor Ted. I love it that they've redone the portraits too.
Mhm.
That
They were pretty freaking solid to begin with, too.
I know, and now they're even more beautiful. I love it. And now number 2.
And when do these come out?
This is October. I'm gonna download them day 1 on my PS5. I am so excited for this. So excited. I hope I can get on my PS5. I'd rather get on my PS5.
I could play them now. I've still got my original
I don't
PS1
have
copies,
mine.
but
I had to sell mine. I had to sell mine. I needed the money at the time. It's right after I got back from China. I needed the money. This one is Suikoden 2 is so hardcore with its storyline.
fucking Nanami.
Yeah, but you need her. You need her.
For reference, Devil, when I put that super chat in, it said the thing about the pervy unicorns. So there are a couple of optional stars of destiny you can collect who are monsters. And one of them is a unicorn, and his name is Siegfried. And like unicorns of traditional lore, he's really interested in underage girls.
But we don't see his balls.
It gets worse because there's a bathhouse hot tub aspect of the show where whoever's in your party will be just chilling in the unisex
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So if you have Siegfried in your party with like any of these like young girl characters, but they have to be virtuous, he hits on them hard.
I don't think I ever had him in my party when I went to the baths. Yeah. I don't think I did that. But yeah, and what's great about this game also, we'll talk about a bit. These games are filled with mini games that are fun.
Mm-hmm.
That are fun. But I love the hardcore aspect of 2 and just the bloodiness of it. I mean, 1 has some hardcore moments, but 2 is so
Luca
bloody.
Blight, man, is a brutal villain.
And again, a villain with no redemption. He's a monster through and through.
God, I miss sprite graphics.
I know. Gotta hit that button just right so she lives. If you don't, you die. Combo, baby, combos. Bright Shield Rune. Oh. I love the basin too. Rune of Beginning. Bright Shield, Dark Sword. So the Gate Rune and the Dunnan Unification Wars, the Joustin City States. I love this. This is gonna be fun. I can't wait.
I'm so hard right now.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And now here's what. All right, did you do this trick in Suikoden 1? Now you need a lot of money for upgrades in these games. A lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I always used to gamble in Suikoden 1 to get my money with the dice trick, the dice rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And I would save my game and I would just play it over and over again until I maxed out in a run, like just doubling down, and pull down hundreds of thousands of coin. That was my hack for that. Yeah.
You could do that. I usually just use the gambling stuff like a beginning game to kind of give myself a leg up. But when it came down to like farming gold and all that stuff, like you get to end game areas and you can just farm encounters for a pretty substantial amount of gold.
You have to do that in Suikoden too. They
Mhm.
got rid of that mechanic in the second one. I wonder if they'll keep it in the first one now though. They gimped it in the second one. You couldn't make a lot of money off that. You had to actually go grind and
Mhm.
farm, and you have to find those spots where you'll get a lot of money, and then you have to bring your favorite people to do that because that's what's great about this. It's a 6-man party. You want to have the great combos, and sometimes you're going to be locked into certain people.
See, I usually took advantage of the in-game economy. I started figuring out trade routes and stuff.
That's number two. Yeah, that's number two.
Mhm.
That's how you make money in number two. You find out the kobolds always want crystal balls. You want to make sure you can sell your all this. Yeah, that's how you make the money in number two. You're absolutely right. Number one, it was about the gambling. Number two is the trade routes. That's it. Opening it
Mm.
up. Now, of course, my favorite thing in number two is picking up the original hero McDole and having him in your party for the final run.
Yeah,
So you've got Bright Shield and Soul Eater just
the Soul Eater is
crushing everything.
still probably my favorite rune in the series.
Yeah.
It's just fucking awesome. It makes everything just actually. Let me correct that. It's my second favorite rune in the series. My first favorite is the Pale Gate rune
Hmm.
because it just myrtleites things.
Yeah, I love the different runes. I love the rune magic. I love how as it goes on, you can slot different runes to get different effects and stats. It's every these games are so great. It's gonna be so much fun.
You remember when they
Uh,
brought in like elemental rune combos,
mhm.
right? That those were always like if you use a level 4 3 or 4 spell with 2 different elemental runes in the same turn, they would
Yep.
combine their magic into like a level 5 spell, which you can't get on its own.
Yeah, I believe I remember that.
Yeah.
But this game was one of the first games I ever played where there were combo moves, and
Mm.
finding the combo moves was half the fun. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
mixing up your party, find out who's going to be a great combo. I know. I think it's in the first game, the bandits you get in early on in the game. Two of those bandits have a combo move that is just domination, and I bring them to the final battle every time. Because they have this 1-2 hit, it's going to deal a couple thousand damage every time,
Yeah.
and
Some of the combo moves were pretty ridiculously spectacular, but it really depended on who you really had to play around with your party to figure out
yep,
everything, which
and I
I
love it.
like. I like the fact that they added a mechanic that, while optional, really encouraged you to explore your entire roster as opposed to just sticking with like a specific group that you
Because
held on to from the beginning.
like you said, there's 108 stars of Destiny, and you get to, and about 60 or 70 of them are playable in your party
Hmm.
usually. And that means
Yeah.
you have a lot of people. And part of the fun is just leveling them up, seeing who works together. And what I love to do, especially in games like this, is I love to RP it in a sense. Who would be the right who would go on this particular adventure in the game?
Mhm.
And with this game, there's so many ways to do that. And it just it adds a depth to it, and
Uh,
it's a depth that
it
doesn't
does.
exist. And yes,
You
these games are go ahead, no, go ahead, go ahead.
you remember getting all the Do Re Mi elves?
That was such a
You
pain
have
in the
if you
ass.
had and depending on how many of them you had in your party depended on what their combo attack did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
work that, and that is one of those tedious fucking ones you have to get.
Yeah.
Or you'll be running along, and then that Dory most want to do. Suddenly, they're in your party. Suddenly, somebody's there. It's like, oh, hi, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually it's like the first 3 were randomly just show up in your party if you were in certain specific
yep.
locations, and the last 2 would show up as enemies that you had to defeat.
Really, I don't remember that part. I just
Or
remember.
it might have maybe it was just the last one, but yeah, one of them I had to defeat in order for it to join me. I think it was the one in the musical village in 2.
I just remember grinding the hell out of it and getting them because it's just
Yeah.
like, oh god, because you have to.
Pain in the ass. And then it turns out, while fun and hilarious, they weren't that good in combat.
No,
So
no, they're
it
not.
was
No,
like I
no,
did all that for this.
no. It's so bad. I mean, and like you said, I like in two the different optional beasts you can get. You can get the octopus, you get the unicorn, you get the griffin, but you only can get 2 of them. Can't get all of them. You have to choose. And I said I love the mini games. I like the fishing mini game in 2.
I think there's a
enjoyed that
dragon
one.
you can get too. I think there's actually 4 optional beasts in that.
A dragon. I don't remember.
Or maybe he's I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there is. I don't know. It's been a while since I played it. I
It's
usually
been-
go with the unicorn and the octopus.
I usually go with maybe I know the third one has Fubar, which I always laugh at his name Fubar in the third one. I always love it. Thanks to Tango and Cash, I always laugh at that one. I know, but I usually go with the octopus, and I think I go with the unicorn because they're easily accessible. They're not that hard. They were fast and easy for me to grab. The octopus, I just fish them up, and getting the unicorn was easy. If you have to bring the right people, and like you say, you got to bring the right people for that one.
Yeah, they all got to be young, sexy, virginal girls.
Yep.
Like you got to bring your sister, which is super fucked up.
Yeah. Freaking Nanami. Now here's my my favorite thing in these games though. I love the one-on-one battles.
The one-on-one battles, the paper rock scissors style of that is just in the cinematic way that they did it, even back then with the sprite pixels and the fucking 2D animation. So good.
I live for the one-on-one battles in every Suikoden game. That's what I live for because that's that moment of all right, this is it. I gotta get this. I'm gonna get it in one shot, and I have to learn their patterns. I have to remember what they do, remember what its signals do. And yes, like you said, it's rock paper scissors, but it's still so engaging.
Let me ask you. Did you prefer the army combat system in 1 or in 2?
I prefer 2 because 1 was rock paper scissors, like it was. It's just counter with air, counter with land, counter with archery. That was it. In 2, and like 3 as well, I had to actually move those units around, and I had and they were actual.
Yeah, it became a tactics game.
Yeah, and I had to, and your commander's skill set mattered, and runes mattered, and all that. It all mattered more. In 1, it's just okay. Here they come with archers. Bring out the lancers. Okay, here come the lancers. Bring out whatever, or no. Here come the cavalry. Bring out the lancers. Here comes the air. Bring out the archers. Here comes something. Bring out the foot soldiers. It's all that. It was too easy, is what it was.
Yeah, I'll agree that the second had a much more in-depth army battle system. There was a lot more that went into that. You had to think a lot more tactically there. And there's an element of guessing to the first one. But I don't know. The first one's just like super fucking charming, with the
they have the great the portraits are all over the place in the first one. Their cards.
Well, and even the tiny little sprite dudes who run out into the field and kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
and you see their like ghosts floating away when they die.
And if your heroes, if McDole's your commander, you could see him leading the battle, running out there. Yeah, I did. Right. That is cool. I forgot about that. But as far as gameplay mechanics, I like the second one better because I have to work to make it, and to bring back trying to save the Kobold general when he's under attack. Hours spent getting him because you have to blitz so hard to get in there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about the one-on-one duels is that's all paper rock scissors. It's always been all paper rock scissors, but you have to pay attention to your opponent's words to guess what he's going to do, and it's possible to guess wrong. If you guess wrong, you're going to get fucked. And I really liked how they did that because they didn't just outright say, oh, he's going to do this attack, so what do you do? It's just like, and each character that you went up against had their own things that they said, and they didn't necessarily line up with what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee when I replay these in a couple months now, I have no memory of any of the one-on-one battle phrases. It's going to be almost first time again because it's been over a decade since I played these games. It's been a long time. I mean, the stories I remember all the events, but the gameplay, I'm going to have to get used to it again. And when I say gameplay, I mean stuff like the one-on-one battle, stuff like the army mechanics, the regular party battles. That's just JRPG stuff. That's normal. But the rock, paper, scissors stuff, especially with the one-on battle, I have no memory of what anybody's phrases were. Back like 20 years ago, I knew exactly what was going to happen every time. Never.
Oh yeah, I mean
Never
you
got
can
to.
learn the whole thing. You know, it doesn't
Oh,
take
it'll
long
come
or
back
anything.
to me right away. I'll get beat up a little bit, and it'll happen right away. But it's gonna be fun because I don't remember what their tells are. I don't remember what their tells are anymore. So that it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a real good time, and I hope that this generates interest in Suikoden again on a public level.
God,
That
that'd be
Konami's gonna
fantastic.
realize we can make money on this again. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, at The Ren Nerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under The Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.